from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant day and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini ChannelEye, and we are ready to bring you the top stories at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minuparachi.
And I'm Vidushi Sadish Kumar. Let's have a look at the headlines for tonight.
Moving on to those, vegetable prices come down. A statement from Minister Nalin Fernando regarding a possible increase in the salaries of government employees. President Ranil Wickremesinghe engages in an observational tour at the Mahinda Rajapaksa Stadium in Diagama. Entrepreneur associations reiterate on the need for a constructive and maximum utilization of IMF funds. Ahos that left for Chengdu in China. Shares plunged at the Deutsche Bank. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. The traders say that the vegetable prices at the Vegetable Wholesale Trade Center in Bandaravilla have declined drastically today. They point out that the reason being an increase in vegetable production as well as a somewhat decrease in the vegetable consumption of the public. Large quantities of vegetables are being brought to the economic center in Bandaravilla by the farmers these days. However, as a result of increase in transport expenses, participation of wholesale traders in trading activities has gone down. This has resulted in a reduction of vegetable prices. A kilo of beans could be purchased for 100 rupees and a kilo of cabbage for 20 rupees. A kilo of tomatoes is presently being sold for 120 rupees and the price of a kilo of brinjals is 150 rupees. The current selling price of a kilo of local potatoes is 200 rupees. Leeks is being sold for 140 rupees and carrots for 70 rupees. The traders point out that, however, the prices may go up once again during the New Year festive season. Minister Mahinda Amaravira says 19% of vegetable harvest and 21% of fruit harvest are being destroyed annually during the transportation process. As a result, the consumers are being deprived annually a quantity of 222,000 metric tons of vegetables and 290 tons of metric tons of fruits. The post-harvest loss is also at a higher level of around 40%. The Minister of Agriculture, at a discussion on food security with several lecturers in universities yesterday, has further stated that if not for the wastage of such a large amount of fruits and vegetables, a further 20 million persons would have been fed.
This year's Alut Sahal Mangalya will be conducted in front of the Jai Shri Bodhi in Anuradhapura on the 2nd of next month. Collection of newly harvested grain on the district level has commenced today. The inaugural ceremony was held at the Lunava Agrarian Services Centre in Hambantota under the patronage of Minister Mahinda Amaravira. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that we are in the process of becoming self-sufficient in paddy. He adds that there would not be any need to import rice. The farmers have accepted the responsibility of making the country self-sufficient in this aspect. The minister also said that paddy is being sold these days and paddy mills are turning them into rice. The produce is being distributed among several districts.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Singh says that despite whatever challenges faced, next month's salary of government servants will be paid before the 10th of next month. He further says that the President has instructed to use financial reserves of the Ministry of Finance for this purpose. State Minister Ranjit Singh said that the installment received from the IMF is expected to be used in the debt stabilization process. He added that the expenses to be carried out at the end of the month will have to be made prior to the 10th of next month in view of the Sinhala and Hindu New Year. Salaries as well as pensions will have to be paid before the 10th of next month. As usual, a further 140 billion rupees is needed for the payment of Samurdhi allowances and for the payment of advances. State Minister Singh added that they are hoping to pay these amounts after proper management of accounts at the Ministry of Finance. He added that the President had instructed them to finalize the payment salaries before the 10th of next month in spite of whatever difficulties being experienced by the Treasury. Minister Nalin Fernando says that state employees could expect a salary increase of 20,000 rupees within several months. He has made these remarks participating in a ceremony in Ja'ala yesterday. Minister Nalin Fernando said that the system that had prevailed in the recent past was to increase the number of government employees without increasing their salaries. This has created a tremendous impact on the country. This was erroneous practice. Minister Nalin Fernando added that the government is hoping to increase the salaries of these employees in order to hand them over an income sufficient to beat the inflationary pressure.
Entrepreneur associations reiterate the need to engage in investments with maximum productivity, utilizing the debt facilities provided by the International Monetary Fund.
Deputy President of United Entrepreneurs Association of Sri Lanka, Susantali Narachi, has elaborated on relief being provided to small and medium-scale businessmen. He added that they have great hopes on how to engage in production after identifying the disparities between direct and indirect taxes. The IMF loan is for 4 years. It has to be prepaid in 8 installments. They have been directed to free the payment of the first installment. Some concessions have been provided to fill the disparity between income and expenditure. The Deputy President has wanted to know what next step would be in the payment of the second installment.
President of the Organization for the Protection of People's Rights, Indika Arunakumara, said that the people in the country have made great commitments to receive the IMF loan. The government servants have paid large amounts as taxes from their salaries. The funds received should be spent in a constructive manner in the production process of the country.
And meanwhile, the Association of the Persons Paying Leasing and Loan Installment accuses that relevant institution for not granting them any relief declared by the central bank. President of the association, Asanka Pothopitia, has made these remarks at a media briefing held today. Asanka Pothopitia said that the relevant circulars are of no use. He added that although the central bank is releasing numerous circulars pertaining to granting of concessions, these directions are not being carried forward in a practical manner. Under such circumstances, the assets of the bank customers are being taken over by the banks in the country. There is no place or institution to look into the grievances of the bank customers. He has also reminded that it was the business community in the country which contributed the 52% of the gross national product of the country. The law of the country is not being implemented appropriately. Asanka Pothopitia also said that they will conduct a protest in Colombo in a short while against the fraudulent practice. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has decoded to appoint a committee of specialists to prepare a future plan on the progress in the field of sports of Sri Lanka. The relevant instructions have been provided to the officials, including the Minister of Sports, today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was engaged in an observation tour at the Mahinda Rajapaksa Sports Complex in Thiagama today. During the tour, he was engaged in a friendly discussion with the sportsmen and women undergoing training at the location. It has also been pointed out that some resources at the playground were destroyed due to failure in proper maintenance of the properties. The President has also advised the officials to prepare a list of priorities prior to engagement in the development process. The President has also reiterated on the need to present genuine reports on necessary financial allocations. He has also pointed out that 100 persons skilled in different types of sports should be selected and to hand over them necessary facilities, including the training, to further develop their skills. The supporting talents of children should be identified when they are between the age of 10 and 12 years. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has also given instructions to make arrangements for the propagation of the game of baseball in 100 schools in the island, including major schools in Colombo during this year. The aim is to make Sri Lanka one of the main baseball playing countries in Asia. President Wickremesinghe has also reiterated the need to provide opportunities for the retired sportsmen and women who had presented the country to complete their degree requirements after evaluating their basic qualifications. The President also said that the attention has also been focused to develop the Mahinda Rajapaksa Sports Complex as a sports university. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that his aim is to produce regional-level athletes within the next 15 years. The President has recalled his previous visit to the venue in the year 2016 and added that the Ministry of Sports had neglected the maintenance of the premises. He has also pointed out the need to provide the infrastructure facilities before constructing the institution. The President further said that the false reports on the ground had been produced when they inquired on the condition of the sports complex.
Steps have been taken to allow producers throughout the island to directly sell their produce to the consumers by the roadside from the 1st to the 12th of next month. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that the traders should engage in their activities without causing any obstructions. The producers will be accorded the opportunity to engage in this activity by making a request via the Divisional Secretary. The minister was commenting on the issue while participating in a program to hand over buses to depots in the Kalatura district today. Buses are being provided under Indian government assistance. Minister Gunawardena has added that plans are underway to add 500 more buses to the fleet by next month.
A Sri Lankan sculpture artist has been successful in molding an eye-catching creation in the famous Chengdu city in China. The creation of more than 8 feet in height is to be declared open at a park in the city in next July. This is a commentary on the artist and the creation. Creator of this artifact is well-known sculpture artist in Sri Lanka, Lalit Senanayake. Some of the people who visit the Gangaramaya Vihara in Colombo are aware of the fact that it was Lalit Senanayake who had created the iron elephant, and the temple premises turned out entirely from discarded bearing parts of vehicles and machinery. Senanayake had entered the media profession as a cartoon artist at the Upala Newspapers Company and later on functioned as a chief media artist in national newspapers. He has an extreme versatility in bringing out artistic creations using materials such as clay, metal and plastics. His work on the other iron hose made out of discarded material is already being declared open in the Chengdu town in the Sichuan province in China during due course. Lalit Senanayake had been accorded the special opportunity to decorate the city through his own creativity under the program to invite world's leading sculpture artists to China and to display their skills and capabilities. Accordingly, 26 prominent sculpture artists on the world have presented themselves to accept the challenge. 6 most proficient artists out of this group, including Lalit Senanayake, were selected by the Sichuan authorities and given the opportunity to show their excellent forms of art. Another creation of Lalit Senanayake using plastic refuse in the form of an elephant was displayed as the Swetake Yawa beach in Wattala. The aim of his artistic effort was to give a message to the children not to pollute the beaches with plastic materials. However, unfortunately, this marvelous display was stolen by a group.
Senior Presidential Advisor in National Security and Chief of Staff of the President, Sagala Ratnayake, says the government has no preparations to dissolve the Department of Civil Defence. Well, he has made these observations participating in a ceremony at the department. The Civil Defence Department was established with the objective of consolidating rural defence during the period of war between the terrorists and the armed forces. Sagala Ratnayake addressing ceremony held in connection with the granting the opportunities to the department staff to engage in employment until the age of 60 years. The department employees are able to request for a service extension beyond the age of 55 years. Chief guest at the ceremony held at the department headquarters was State Minister of Defence Pramita Bandarathinakon. The meeting was attended by a group including Director General of the Department of Civil Defence, Major General Ranjit Lamheva.
We are joining with Rupavahini News and we are moving with more stories. The first stage of the Basnaguda water supply scheme in Karasnaguda, Gampaha was declared open today. 600,000 residents in 440 Gram Seva divisions in the Gampaha district will be benefited by the project. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga has presided over the inauguration of the initial stage of the project. The second stage is scheduled to be completed before the October this year. Women's Adventurous Raid Amazons 2023 is being presently conducted in Kandy.
The youth taking part in the event were engaged in preparing for the event near the At Gala of the Sri Dalada Maligawa Kandy today. Around 290 French women take part in the Raid Amazons tournament. The previous tournament was held in Sri Lanka last year. Women were seen bathing elephants at the Atgala premises. Minister Harin Fernando was also present to witness the events taking place in the Kandy city. The number of foreign tourists visiting the island is reported to have increased. Some of them have shown great interest on local cuisine and indigenous medical treatments. The Rupavahini cameramen have caught this scene of some foreign tourists processing food according to the indigenous methods in Unawatuna.
Yeah, this trip is totally amazing. We love to see the population around Sri Lanka. That's totally an amazing event, and the Sri Lanka welcoming us like we've never seen. The people are so kind to us, and we love the food, we love the sun, and it's tropical everywhere. It's very, very enjoyable.
So the game is ready to discover Kandy, all the patrimony, and also the Sri Lankan culture. For that, they have a booklet with questions and a map of Kandy, and they have to find by themselves the way in the city.
What did you think about Sri Lanka culture?
It's very rich. It's a very rich culture. All the religions, the history, and the way of life is really interesting. So they will very enjoy, I think. People are so kind. So always very smiley, and I think it's the 5th time I come in Sri Lanka. It's always a great pleasure to come. And we had a big help of the government also, so it was very nice of the official people to help us to visit the temple and to open the roads with the police and everything. So it was really a very great help.
We arrived already like 4 or 5 days ago, and slowly we discover your country, and it's step by step we discover all landscapes, and we talk with the population, with you, and we share some moments we are very enjoy it because you are very kind with us, very helpful, and we see that you want to share with us. And when we are doing the sports things, a lot of people are here for support us.
Well, with that, stay tuned for foreign news coming up next.
Attention all 16 to 30-year-old twins. Exciting news. Miss and Mr. Twin Sri Lanka 2023 is approaching. Don't miss your chance to compete for the crowns. Closing dates for registrations 25th March 2023. First audition is on April 2nd at PMICH. Contact Sri Lanka Twins Organization via WhatsApp at 070-464-4640. Start preparing for your shot at becoming Miss or Mr. Twin Sri Lanka 2023.
பீப்பிள்ஸ் கிரெடிட் கார்டு உரிமையாளர்களே, இந்த புத்தாண்டு காலத்தில் பிரபல ஆடையகம், ஹோட்டல் மற்றும் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் உட்பட பலவற்றில் 60% வரை விசேட சலுகைகளை பெற்றிடுங்கள். மேலதிக விவரங்களுக்கு விரைந்திடுங்கள் www.peoplesbank.lk.
Attention all 16 to 30-year-old twins. Exciting news. Miss and Mr. Twin Sri Lanka 2023 is approaching. Don't miss your chance to compete for the crowns. Closing dates for registrations 25th March 2023. First audition is on April 2nd at PMICH. Contact Sri Lanka Twins Organization via WhatsApp at 070-464-4640. Start preparing for your shot at becoming Miss or Mr. Twin Sri Lanka 2023.
Welcome back, and we continue with foreign stories now. Well, starting things off with some share price update from Germany. Shares in Deutsche Bank have fallen sharply, dragging down other major European banks and reigniting fears about a widening banking sector crisis.
Germany's biggest lender dropped more than 14% on the Frankfurt Storage Exchange in yesterday morning, trading before clawing back round in the afternoon to trade 9.5% lower at 8.43 euros a share. Tumbling bank stocks dragged down markets across Europe yesterday, with Germany's Commerzbank down 7.5%, France's Societe Generale or 4.9%, of Austria's Raiffeisen down 5.9%. Deutsche Bank is one of the 30 banks considered globally significant financial institutions, so international rules require it to hold high levels of capital reserves. Because of its failure could cause widespread losses in the long troubled bank has come the big focus of investor concerns after the collapse of three regional US lender and the Swiss government brokered takeover of Credit Suisse by the rival UBS triggered market turmoil this month. The cost of insuring the bank's debt against a risk of defaulting, known as a credit default with SOPs, has surged as investors fret about the banking sector's health.
An asteroid large enough to destroy a city will pass between the orbits of the Earth and the Moon this weekend, luckily for us missing both. The object, named 2023 DZ2, was discovered a month ago. Today it will pass within 515,000 kilometers of the Moon before flying by Earth hours later. It is rare for such a huge asteroid, estimated to be between 40 and 90 meters in diameter, to come so close to the planet. According to NASA, it's an important opportunity for astronomers to increase their knowledge of asteroids in the event that a dangerous object were discovered with the potential to hit the Earth. As it is passing just 68,000 kilometers away, the asteroid will be visible through binoculars and small telescopes across the globe. The object looks set to return towards Earth's orbit in 2026, but scientists have ruled it out as a threat to the planet on that occasion too.
And meanwhile, the Ukraine's commander-in-chief says that the battle for the Bakhmut, the Ukrainian city, which Russia has spent months trying to capture, is stabilizing. Earlier this month, Western officials estimated between 20,000 and 30,000 Russian troops had been killed or injured in Bakhmut since last summer. But despite that, Ukraine's commander-in-chief said that the Ukrainian troops' tremendous efforts were holding back Russia, as Russia is eager for a victory after failing to make major recent gains. Despite this, military analysts believe Bakhmut has little strategic value, but the city's importance is enough symbolic. The Ukrainian officials said that while the situation on Ukraine's front line is the toughest in the Bakhmut direction, due to the tremendous efforts of the defense forces, they are managing to stabilize the situation.
Well, from Ukraine to Spain, more than 1,500 people have been evacuated as a major forest fire raged in Spain's eastern Catalan province, marking an early start to the country's fire season amid bone-dry conditions. Spanish officials said yesterday that the fire had engulfed around 3,000 hectares of land since it broke out yesterday, forcing residents from their homes and into shelters operated by the Red Cross and other charities. Emergency services in the region said 8 towns had been evacuated, including a home for older people in Montan. The authorities said that 18 planes and helicopters and more than 600 firefighters and soldiers were tackling the fire. The Spanish military and the country's ecological transition ministry deployed additional support to try to bring the blaze under control.
මෙහෙම දිනන්න මෙහෙම වන්න Big Match Fun ට්‍රීමක් ඔත්තුමේ තියනකම්
Welcome back to a sports update, and it's the current series between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. The one And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing off with Vidishani. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.